What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Emily, and today I'm going to be showing you 5 journaling strategies that you can use to combat or reframe anxiety. Now, I just want to disclaim really quick before we get into this video that I am not a mental health professional. However, I do have 20 years of experience as a person with pretty severe anxiety, so I'm just speaking from experience here and sharing some things that have worked for me in the past. I actually do personally use all 5 of these strategies myself pretty regularly, and they really have helped me fight back against my anxiety and kind of reconsider how I react to anxious thoughts. These are all super simple, and most of them are pretty quick to do, and all you need is a notebook and a pen, maybe some markers if you want to get crazy, but that's not really necessary. So yeah, without further ado, let's get journaling. So number 1, and really the backbone of my journaling practice for anxiety, are my daily journaling prompts. I've been journaling consistently for the past 3 or 4 years-ish, and this little set of 4 prompts is what I go back to every single day. I feel like it gives me a nice balance of honesty, positivity, and some productivity without taking too long. So first, I do a little feelings check-in. I give myself some space to check in with how I'm feeling that day. I let myself be completely honest with my feelings, so if I'm feeling really shitty, I'll say that I'm feeling really shitty. And doing this helps me understand how I need to move forward into my day. So if I'm feeling bad, I know that I should probably try to take some positive steps to feel better. Next, I will write out a couple bullet points for things that I'm grateful for. I usually try to think of some big things like having a fridge full of food, and some small things like maybe having a nice conversation the day before with my friend, or like my nails are growing long finally for the first time in forever. It really is just helpful to keep my negativity in check and remember that I do have so many things to be grateful for. So after that, I will usually offload all the to-dos that I have floating around in my head for that day. Sometimes these to-do lists aren't really realistic for a single day, but it does help to get everything I want to get done out of my head and onto paper where I can see it and sort it out. And finally, I write down my daily affirmations. These are something that I've used in one form or another since I was a kid, and they are so helpful in keeping my anxiety in check. They're basically just short, positive statements that address some source of anxiety in my life. So lately, I've been coming up with 3 or 4 affirmations at the start of the month, and then repeating those for the entire month every day. This month, my affirmations are: I accept myself as I am while looking forward to growing. I believe I am worthy of success. I do what is best for myself even when it's difficult, and I am strong, confident, and capable. Now, you don't have to come up with these on your own. There are tons of lists on the internet of affirmations for self-esteem, social anxiety, generalized anxiety, panic attacks, phobias, whatever. So just Google whatever it is that you are struggling with and pick a couple that resonate with you and get in the habit of repeating them to yourself every day. You will honestly be surprised how quickly you internalize those positive thoughts. So prompt number 2 is visualization journaling. I like to use this strategy in the moment when I'm feeling particularly anxious, or maybe I'm even on the brink of a panic attack. Maybe I'm actively having a panic attack. Basically, you just have to describe a positive experience, or maybe like your happy place, as vividly as you can. I usually describe like a vacation that I've been on, or fun things that I've done with my friends and family, and I'll write down anything I can remember about that day. What we ate, what the weather was like, what I was wearing, anything that particularly stuck out for me. And I try to keep writing until I literally can't think of anything else to write down. And then once I have it all written out, I'll put my pen down, close my eyes, and try to visualize myself in that place with all of the things that I've described. You can also just do this as a meditation exercise, but I find it helpful to describe it in writing first so I can clearly imagine it. Plus, the act of writing it down kind of takes me out of my head. This strategy has helped me prevent or even come down from panic attacks so many times, especially when I'm feeling kind of disoriented or dissociated from the anxiety. It's a really good way to ground yourself when you kind of feel like you're not on this planet anymore. Number 3 is some simple habit and mood trackers. If you have watched any videos about bullet journaling, you have definitely seen these before. Personally, I've always found them kind of hard to keep up on because I tried to get too artsy with them, or I would beat myself up if I didn't go through with every habit every single day. But I know that there are certain habits that I need to stay on top of in order to keep my mental health in check. So I created some super simple habit and mood trackers that take less than 15 minutes to draw out. So here I'm drawing out my November trackers. First, I number the days of the month down the side of the page, and then I draw a couple lines to frame it off. And then I just start marking every other row and then every other column. And then along the bottom of the page, I will write down the habits that I want to track that month. So every day I keep my journal open to this page on my dining room table, so it's easy for me to mark off my habits with a dot as I complete them. And this has helped me stay on top of tracking my habits and hold myself accountable more. So my mood tracker is not the cutest, but you know what? It does what it needs to, so I don't care. I literally just draw out a rectangle for each day of the month and then divide it in half. I do this because my mood at the beginning of the day is often very different from my mood at the end of the day, so I track my morning mood and my evening mood by coloring in each half of the box with one of 5 colors that correspond with a particular mood. It's pretty simplistic, but it helps me understand how my habits impact how I'm feeling, and it can also alert me to any trends or downward spirals that might be coming, so I can try to take extra good care of myself in anticipation of maybe an anxious spell that I can feel coming on. So this next prompt is identifying cognitive distortions. If you don't know, cognitive distortions are essentially all the ways that our brain tricks us into believing things that aren't true. Everyone experiences these to some degree. We all overgeneralize or jump to conclusions now and again, but sometimes, as in the case of severe anxiety, these can be really harmful, and they can also be pretty difficult to spot if you are not looking for them. There are a lot of different distortions. I've linked a list of some of the most common ones in the description box down below if you're curious. So when I notice myself latching onto a thought that I think might be irrational, I pull out my list of cognitive distortions. I have one printed off that I keep in the little pocket of my journal, and I try to determine which one or ones are involved with this thought. So after a while, you'll probably start to notice yourself gravitating towards the same distortions over and over, so you can identify your thought patterns and call out these irrational thoughts more easily as they come up. For example, I tend to go back to magnification, or making a mountain out of a molehill, and fortune telling, or expecting a situation to turn out badly without any evidence to support that expectation. So once you've identified your cognitive distortions, you can then use that knowledge to reframe the thought and create a positive affirmation to use instead. So, for example, if you are overgeneralizing to justify the irrational thought, I did poorly on this test, so I'm just not good at this subject, you can reframe the thought as something like, I can change my approach to learning and studying to continue improving my grades. And finally, the last strategy is questioning negative thoughts. I have a list of questions that I return to if I find myself having a persistent or recurring negative thought, which happens pretty frequently. Writing a few quick bullet points, though, to address each of these questions helps me assess the validity of the thought and reframe the situation in a more realistic light. So there are 6 questions, and they are, is there substantial evidence for my thought? Is there evidence contrary to my thought? Am I attempting to interpret this situation without all of the evidence? What would a friend think or tell me about this situation? If I look at the situation positively, how is it different? Will this matter a year from now? How about 5 years from now? So this is a great exercise to work through thoughts that you know are irrational, or even just small things that are bothering you and that you want to let go of. Challenging your irrational thoughts is really the first step to changing them and letting them go. And this is a really quick exercise to help you do that. So those are all the tips that I have for you guys today. I really hope that you found this video helpful. I know that when I started using my journal a little bit more mindfully instead of just dumping all of my thoughts into it, it really helped me start thinking critically about the way that I think and the way that I respond to my own thoughts. So if you use any of these strategies, please let me know. I would love to hear how they work for you. And if you want to see more videos like this one, please give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys back here very soon. Thank you for watching, my sweet little beans. I love you very much. Bye.